Guys, so I don't know if you ever saw this trend that TikTok that I've been trying, like, check the book, like search book on TikTok search bar, and whatever book you see there has like a reflection of what's going on in your life currently, or like in your life as a stand. And I was so curious. I mean, I started to check. And when I checked, I saw this book. The name is so interesting. The book, The Power of the, I don't know if I'm allowed to like pronounce it like that so that TikTok doesn't take down this video, but that is the name of the book. And I was so interested. I then started making research about the book, and the things and the hints I got was really interesting. I decided to buy the book, soft copy, online. If not, I would have been holding it up. But then while I was reading the book, I decided to jot down. I decided to jot down a couple things that I learned or I picked from the book, and I will be, in my own way and in my own analysis, be telling you guys what I picked from the book and what the point from this book is. This book is for people who are in a phase in their life that are stepping into their feminine energy more, trying to grow up and like set boundaries, standards, and like put their words together. I don't know if that makes sense, but I know you get the point of what I'm trying to say. And you're trying to not be chasing or settling both in life or a relationship in general. And I think the message this book has for me is quite interesting, because since this year, I have decided not to put myself under the kind of pressure I used to put myself in the past. The past few years, I was hustling. It's not like I wasn't seeing results, but I was basically putting up a lot of masculine energy and vibe, and that wasn't what I wanted for myself this year. I didn't know how to not, but this year I took the time and the chance to read a lot of books, listen to a lot of podcasts, and do a lot of research and deeply dive into myself the more. I made the decision to actually understand this person, what I could fully be, and it hasn't been very consistent and easy, but I promise you it's all worth it. It's very, very much worth it. If you've known me for like a couple of years, or like from last year even, or even last month or last 2 months, you will notice like there's a different moving forward, like moving down. I'm totally like a different person around, but mentally, physically, spiritually, I have evolved, and I'm really proud of myself for making the decision. I'm still growing, and I really, 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 really appreciate myself for taking the due honor to actually take on the steps. And I always recommend this: taking time or making the decision to actually put in the work to improve yourself. I have discovered a lot of things about me that I really didn't know, and there are things that, like, that thing that they say that the universe throws things at you based on your current mental level or the current energy that you possess. That is so true. It's so true, because certain things that used to happen at the time before I made the decision to patiently and gently walk myself through this journey that I'm in, I have somehow experienced them again, but the way I handled it was so different, and I promise you I was so proud of myself, because because some of the things that happen, I will sulk, I will cry, these days I'm like, okay, so what next? You get the point. So like, I have been able to like really evolve, and to be told, TikTok really got me on this one. Like, the book was definitely meant for me. I just like the universe brought the book for me, because it just gratified, it just solidated all the things I have been like walking through this process. But don't forget, I made like a summary for you all that might not be able to get the book or don't know how to, or like any of that. But then this book by Kara King is a girl's girl book. It is a book where she teaches women or anybody in general, but I feel like this is a girl's book where she teaches women how to stop settling both in life and in love, tap into their feminine energy, attract what they want without begging or chasing, heal from past hurts, and become emotionally powerful. And I must tell you, this is literally the work I have been doing on myself since this year, and it's totally what it is. I'm really proud of myself for how far we've come, even though we've not been very consistent, but there's been like a lot of progress, and some recurring occurrences have come, and I've seen like the way I handle the situation has changed, and I'm really proud of myself, proud of my emotional strength, and like how much resilience I've been able to grow from the past few months. And then this book, like I said before, just gratified or like solidified everything I have been wanting. But I'm going to like read the summary from the book, just so people who can get it or don't know how to get it or don't have the time to read it can actually like pick a point or learn whatever you want to learn from the book. So now, number 1 on the list is you are the prize. That's just the moral from the book. You're the prize. Stop chasing, stop proving. A high value woman attracts effortlessly because she knows her worth. And that's not even a lie. Like I said, the universe brings to you what your energy carries. If you carry a lot of positivity and confidence, the universe brings to you what you want. Brings things in that same frequency as you. If you don't tolerate things, the universe won't bring things you don't tolerate, because if he brings it in, he knows that you're going to counter it. So it brings things that align to yourself and to what you're doing at a particular period of your life. I don't know if that makes sense. He said, when you feel wealthy, confident, and magnetic, money flows to you easily. I'm not even going to lie. The moment I decided to work on my confidence, on my feminine energy, on my person, I started attracting a lot of things. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of things changed about me. The way people treated me changed. People usually treat me with respect, but there was like a lot of change. Personally, I could feel it, both from the way I was addressed, even at home, friends, and like at some point I'm like, wait, what's going on? Because it was like a shocker to me. It was after I read this book, Attitude is Everything, which I'm going to actually talk about next. It gave me a perspective to why those things were happening, and I had to embrace it. I had to embrace it as my new norm, and I didn't stop there. I just kept working on myself. Like, you have to show the universe that you're willing to accept certain things, that you're ready to assume a new perspective. The universe just keep bringing things that help you get to the point where you want to be. But first, you have to be willing. You have to show that you want it. That's just how it is. You have to show, then it gives you. Because if you are not prepared, if you don't show that you are prepared and that you want certain things in your life, the universe will just assume that you're still just there, and to keep bringing things in the same frequency as yourself at the particular time. Questions that you should ask yourself is like, would the version of me who knows her worth allow this? Ask yourself this question when you see yourself slipping out of things that feel disrespectful to you, or things that you do not really settle in, but you're tolerating because of the circumstances or because of whatever it is that is going on in your environment. Number 2 is cut off access when you are not respected. All of them are basically interlinked, but like, it's good to pick the points individually so you get it like, and it sticks in. Don't explain, don't beg. If someone can't meet your standard, they lose the privilege of your presence. That's just true, and that's just simple, and that's just it. The moment you start feeling some certain kind of energy around people, or you start noticing some things that you probably weren't noticing, and you've checked and probably had conversation and it's not working, just cut it off. Definitely cut it off. If people are not making genuine effort to actually make you feel comfortable around them just as you are to them, move on. Life doesn't revolve around anybody. It doesn't even revolve around any of us. So the moment you keep your life going and moving forward, the better for you. Boundary is not rudeness. Boundary isn't rudeness. It is royalty to yourself. It does not mean you should be rude and you should be sassy and all of that. It's just royalty to yourself. It shows that you have self-respect, and it does not mean you should be mean and rude to people. That's not what boundary is. One of these days we'll make a video on how to heal and set boundaries, because there was a time in my life where I questioned what my boundary was or what my standards was. I'm never going to lie to you. I had all the confidence and all, but I definitely did not know myself so well to know what to take and what I will not take, because of the kind of environment or the people that lived around me while I was growing up as a child. So I took the time by myself to improve myself and like find out what exactly I want and how I want it and how I will not take it. You get the point. Now, number 3 is your femininity. Number 3 is your femininity is power, not weakness. Softness isn't submission, it is strength. You can be loving and still have standard. You can be soft and still have standard. You can be loving and still have standards and still have boundaries and still say, I can't take this and I will not take this. You get the point. The lessons as such, the moral from this book is you don't have to act like a man to be respected by one. And this is really true, because the previous years into this particular part for me, I have had or possessed a lot of masculine energy unconsciously to me, because I thought like it was what I was supposed. I didn't know it was masculine energy until I started paying close attention and reading books and listening to podcasts, and I could trace a lot of the things that I used to do to be like very masculine. I wasn't doing like the whole girls guy dress thing, but I wasn't in my full femininity, and that's for true, because I was really hustling. I'm not saying hustle is a bad thing, but I was putting up a lot of hustle man mentality. But I knew that some of the traits I portrayed as like my previous years has like a lot of masculinity in it, and it wasn't good for me, because I was attracting people who literally wanted to savour that part of me, or like puts me in that place, while instead of me being like the girl, I would literally be like the man. And I was seeing it and I was running away from it, but I didn't know how to control it or how to not attract that kind of thing. And that's even one of the major reasons why I decided to like take the step to understand what my feminine power is, how to be more feminine, how to be more girly, and how to be. It does not, when you talk about being girly and having self-love and all of that, it does not literally mean changing your wardrobe, wearing the prettiest hair, having nice closets, or like doing bubble baths, pedicure. All of them are good. They're part of it. They're part of the feelings you have, but most of these things are internal. You have to make the decision. You have to find the flaws that are there and try to fix it and try to grow out of it. You get the point? Then it begins to reflect in your outward carriage and like how you present yourself and like all of that. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Then number 4 is heal before you deal. Past heartbreaks, abandonment, or insecurities can make you act desperate, clingy, and afraid. Heal before you deal. Past heartbreaks, abandonment, or insecurities can make you act desperate, clingy, or afraid. If you've come from a place where people are constantly shading like your body type, how you talk, the way you carry yourself, or nobody really gives you any valid advice or like things like that, maybe you don't have like a mother that knows how to actually show you how to be a girl, or an elder sister that teaches you how to be a girl, or you've not mingled with people that actually help in your confidence or any type of way, you would definitely fall for this. Because there's one thing about life that is very common. Humans are generally clingy, or they tend to cling to something that gives them some sort of gratification. And when you meet people I was making a video about this book and my microphone went off because I got a call, and I have made a previous video about this, but I feel like I did not really elaborate my point so well in that previous video, so I'm just going to make it again. Now, from the other parts, we're talking about heal before you deal. Is basically, let me read from here. Past heartbreak, abandonment, or insecurity can make you act desperate, clingy, or afraid. Heal so your next moves come from power, not from pain. A lot of us go through a lot of upbringing and childhood traumas. And I'm not here to talk about traumas basically. I'm just here to talk about how the energies that we consume as kids growing up tend to shape us or affect our thinking as adults and as adults or as humans. Because if you lived in an environment where family members or people are constantly shading something about you, like maybe how you look, how you talk, or certain things, you grow into thinking that something is wrong with you because of that or about that or something like that. And there's something about humans, we tend to cling to things that give us some sort of validation. Now if I come to somebody and, oh, you look so nice, you're so, the moment I say that, the person is instantly drawn to me. Not because I might be wrong or maybe because I was deceiving the person or something, but because they instantly feel some sort of safety and some level of validation, and they feel like I'm impressed by them. So they like me for being impressed by them. You get the point of what I'm saying. So now, let's bring that back to what I just read. If you grow from a place where there's usually a lot of emotional validation, or like the things you feel or the things you want are not paid attention to or validated, you grow up thinking that certain things about you don't matter, or sometimes you even forget that that part of you really matters. If you grow in an environment where if you're soft and petty, you're shut down, you're seen as weak or lazy, you at some point that part of you dies away and you become like really macho and you have to do certain things. And when you do that for a long period of time, you forget about what you're supposed to and you're used to the new norm. And that's where most of us tend to grow with some level of masculine energy without even knowing that we have that level of masculinity in us. Growing up, or like during my like early teens into 20s, I used to possess a lot of masculine energy. I wasn't dressing like a guy. I wasn't looking all masculine and all of that. But I was the hustle kind of girly, and I'm not saying hustling is, but I still hustle. I work like a lot, but this time around I have come in tune with my femininity. I'm no longer doing it because I need validation from anybody. I'm doing it because it is what I want to do and I feel okay doing it. And during that period of time where I was always carrying about the masculine energy, I usually attracted people that put me in the place of a provider, or like make me the man in situations. And I didn't want that. I knew that I wanted to be a baby girl. I knew that I wanted to be just a girl, but I didn't know how to go about it, because the idea that I had was I had to give something. I don't know if you get the point. I had to perform to be seen, because somehow from where I grew, it was something I picked up as a child growing up. So now at some point I had to, like, when I realized that this vibe, it was so consistent that I had to start like rethinking things. I had to start reading books. I had to start reading a lot of books, listening to podcasts, how to level up in your 20s, a lot of things. And I started, and when I was listening to these podcasts and reading this book, I realized that some of the traits that I carried were basically masculine, and they weren't good. They weren't good. So I had to work. I had to put in energy. I had to intentionally walk myself through and out of it. And maybe one of these days I'll make a video about how to heal and structure yourself and set your boundaries and love yourself more and be intentional about what you want without being loud about it, without being noisy, and without trying to put it in people's face. Because when people talk about standards and boundary. A lot of us mistake it for being sassy and mean and rude and cutting people off. Those are part of it, but it has to be called for you to display that part. You don't just come up setting my boundaries, so get out. Like, oh no, that's not how it works. When you begin to love yourself more, boundaries automatically come up. You begin to know what you can't tolerate. You begin to know what to call off before they even grow. You begin to know how to not let certain things escalate or even get to any particular level. You spot things before them. You even have, at that stage of you begin to have some level of discernment to actually know when things are not for you and when to walk out of things. You get the point? So yeah. Now the sixth and seventh final one is your energy affects your money. The way you carry yourself, the vibe you bring to the table, the energy you display unconsciously actually attracts a lot of things to you. So if you are, let me read this. When you feel worthy, confident and magnetic, money flows to you easily. And that's why you see all these girls are usually so in tune with their femininity. They have a lot of people paying their bills. A lot of people doing a lot of girly things to you because their energy is signaling to the universe, this is what I want, this is how I want it. And the universe brings what they want to them. And that's just the truth. But then you have to work on your energy. You have to believe. You have to know that you want it, you deserve it, and you should have it. And it has to come from within. It's not just something you say and something you try to act. It's something that comes from within. You have to intentionally groom it from you. Let me just keep reading and moving forward. This book even dives into how feminine energy attracts abundance. I said this. Lesson: the more loved and whole you feel, the more success you attract. The more loved and whole you feel. Even the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You must first love yourself. And loving yourself, there are like steps to actually wholly loving yourself, because the idea of love yourself that most of us think is like getting new hair, changing your closet, doing your skincare, bubble baths, vacations and all of that. If there's no loving from the inside, all those things will not matter. I'm not even going to lie to you. And that's why a lot of people spend most time in their life trying to seek external validation, because inside they are not basically satisfied with what they have going on. And if you're not in tune and in love with yourself and with your energy and with everything, you will spend the rest of your life roaming around for validation, and you might just keep getting hurt and hurt and hurt. I'm going to make a video on like steps on how to heal, because I was talking with my friend the other day on my life, though we do not like dive deep into the conversation. She was asking what are the steps you take to heal and love yourself more, and I was basically talking about it on live, and I think at this point I have to like make a video about it, if not for anything, for the steps that I took that helped me get to where I am right now. And I feel like if I had somebody that basically gave me the steps that I took, I'm going to talk based on my experiences, you get. And I know for any reason or for whatever is worth, it might probably help somebody who's probably going through something similar with what I went through. When I say what I went through, is like it's a lot, but a lot of growth has like occurred in my life, and I'm really proud that I actually took the decision to want to do that. Now, the last but not the least, your pussy is symbolic. I said that. Your is symbolic. It's not just about sex. It's about power, energy, magnetism, creativity. Kara King uses it as a metaphor for the divine feminine. I saw someone here say that your sexual power is your creative power, and I cannot dispute that. The more in tune with yourself, the more passionate you feel about yourself, the more in love you are with yourself, the more sensual you feel about yourself, the more creative you get. Because at that point, you're beginning to love yourself. Your brain begins to function in a very creative, in the most creative way possible. I'm not going to lie. And you begin to want a lot of things for yourself. And like I said, your energy begins to attract certain things or the good things to you. So everything starts from within, comes from inside out. This book, I think this is basically one book that every single girl should read. I'm not even going to lie. I might not have done a lot of justice with this, my summary. If you read the book by yourself, I promise you, you will have a different notion about yourself, about every single thing you actually want to know. Like, in summary of everything that I have said, that's like the overall vibe for this book is: don't chase love, don't settle for breadcrumbs, don't shrink to be accepted, step into your softness and your standards. That's where your true power lives. And I think I really need to make the video on how to heal and get yourself to where you want to be, or like heal and learn to set your boundaries and like love yourself more, because there was like a point in my life when I didn't even know what my boundaries were. I didn't know what my standards were. I kept questioning what, and at that point I didn't have, like, as I said before, an example to what I wanted. I had to read podcasts, I had to read books, I had to listen to podcasts, I had to read books, I had to read articles, I had to do a lot of intense internal growth to actually get over and get out of it. You get the point? So probably this weekend I will take my time to make a video about that, and I'll be posting it on Tuesday or Monday, any of which, because I have like a couple of work to do and I have a meeting waiting for me. So I will take my time to analyze it, and we'll talk about it in gross details in that particular video. I'll take my time to analyze every single thing and every experience, because I want to bring you guys alongside me with this journey. And so yeah, I will make a video about how to heal, how to evolve, how to know your boundaries and your standards, and how to love yourself immensely and intensely. I will do a very great video about that, and I will be posting it or them, depending on how lengthy it is. And yeah, I'll be posting it within the week. So yeah, stay tuned. And the next video I'll be making about book summary is Attitude is Everything. I'll probably drop the video about that book before the self-healing and setting boundaries video, whatever the topic is going to be. That book is also a book for every girl and everybody, not just girls, but everybody, because it teaches you how to carry yourself, how to channel your energy properly, and how to be yourself more. Yeah, so guys, bye bye.